Welcome to another video. It's still winter, it's February, and we have a rare like 4 or 5 days in a row with no rain. So I scooted out to the Oregon coast, hoping that I could get a nice sunset with some sea stacks. And it just might happen tonight. Take a look at this. There's no wind, which is awesome. And it's not too cold, it's about 50 degrees. So I think I got my first composition set up. I wanted to put the sun right in the middle. So let me see, right here. So haystack is over here, and I wanted that big bright right here in the middle. I think it's going to be the best composition. It's got the most color, and I can also get a little bit of reflection if I drag that shutter. So I put a 6-stop on, and I'm bracketing my photos because this is really, really dark. That is really, really bright. With the 6-stop on, I'm a little over 3 seconds, F11, just to help me drag that shutter a little bit more, and ISO 100. It's absolutely beautiful out here, no wind, and just insane weather conditions, and a gorgeous sunset happening. So I know this shot's gonna come out at least pretty decent, and I'll show it to you right now. As you can tell, the sun's popped out from the bottom of those clouds. So I'm gonna wait a minute until it gets a little bit lower and goes behind some other clouds, because shooting directly into it when it's like full on, I don't think it's gonna be nearly as good as what I've already captured. And I've changed my positions a couple of times. I'm a lot lower. Put a couple of small rocks in my foreground just to see what that looks like. That is just gorgeous. Look at the God rays that are happening right there. Man, let me just take one more. I'm definitely gonna take more than one, because one more, because the light just keeps getting a lot better. I'm really, really liking the long exposures, and it smooths out all this water in a really, really nice way. It makes it kind of ethereal, like almost like fog instead of water, because right now there's just way too many ripples and too much glare on it, even with a polarizer, because I'm shooting into the sun, and that polarizer wouldn't do much of anything anyway. So by leaving that 6-stop on and dragging that shutter as long as I can, it just makes for, I think, a better, more interesting photograph, especially with all of those rocks that look like they're peeking their heads out of the fog, which is just that water that's being smoothed over as it's coming in and out. So I will show you the best of the long exposure shots from here at sunset on Cannon Beach right now. you watch my channel, and I hope you do, you know that I absolutely love waterfalls. This is one that's kind of been on my radar, but hasn't been like a real priority. But since I'm out on the Oregon coast and it's kind of on the way, I had to stop and check it out. The thing about this waterfall is that from the research that I've done, I don't think you're going to be able to get a really close shot of it or photograph. I think it's more of it's a distant waterfall. Like, I don't think you're going to be able to see the plunge pool. But what makes it worth the effort is that it's only a 1/4 mile hike. So it's super close to where you park, and it goes right along the creek. So I know there's water because I can hear it. Won't take me but a minute to get the waterfall in view and be able to make a call as to whether we'll be able to get a photograph or not. It's a really tall waterfall and it's really, really pretty, but it's just a mess of logs that have just jammed the whole creek. So that's just not attractive. That's very, very super cluttered and really busy. From here anyway, from this spot, I don't think there's really a photograph. I'm gonna walk back down the trail just a little bit, get a little higher, and see if I just can't use a little bit of a longer lens just to get a photograph. So I look at the water I want. I've dialed it into about 1/10 of a second. I think that works really, really well. The problem again is just that sun. It's kind of moving up as the sun's going up because it's still early morning, but it's high enough to be in the frame. And I'm just gonna play off of that, especially in post, and I'm gonna bring up that golden color and just kind of let the top of that waterfall just be where the sun is and not worry about it. Because there's a couple of good things that are also happening because of that. I've got these trees that are, again, I can't really show you the back of the camera because of the glare, but there's some trees that are framing both sides of the waterfall, and they're catching a little bit of that backlighting. They're being backlit by the sun a little bit. And so I'm gonna use those two trees as kind of maybe a framing element. I'm shooting a little wider than I need to. Again, always shoot wider than you think you need. You can always crop. Adding those pixels back is never a good idea if you can avoid it. So I'm gonna get the shot, and regardless of how good or bad it is, I'll show it to you right now. Sunrise this morning was pretty much a bust. It was just absolutely no light whatsoever, totally overcast, no atmosphere, no rain, no fog, no mist, nothing, just gray and gloom. So I headed south, and I am at Cape Kiwanda. I'm waiting for the sun to set, and you can see behind me there's a nice sea stack, kind of looks like haystack rock way out there. Some clouds up here in the sky. We got a little bit something going on. I don't know if it's going to catch any light or not, but we'll see. But I got some time to try to put some compositions together. But I'm going to head that way. The tide is starting to come in. It's already at the low. It's starting to come in. And I'll be able to get a little bit closer out, a little bit further out, I should say. So maybe be able to pick up some interesting foreground instead of just the beach. So I'm out on these rocks. And there's a channel, there's cracks between them, and the tide's coming in. I love, here's the water, here comes the water. So it comes in, and as it pulls away, it's lined up perfectly with my sea stack out there. So I got my tripod straddling between the two rocks with the channel right in the middle as close as I can get it. And I just want to decide on a shutter speed to get a little bit of motion in that water. I don't want to freeze it, but I don't want it to just be solid white. I just want to have some energy in that water when it's coming in. So I'm just taking shot after shot, high speed bursts so I can catch the waves and pick later. Here comes a big one, I think. Yeah. So I really want the water to fill this whole crevice up so that it's almost at the top, because it's really, really dark down there and it's not very interesting unless that water's happening. I've settled on about a 20th of a second for my shutter speed. I think that looks pretty good. And the tide, as you can see, is coming in higher and higher, so I don't have much longer before I'm gonna have to get out of here before I'm stuck. This is gonna be a nice image, I think. It's just a little bit of a struggle because of the dynamic range, so I'm actually gonna manually bracket at high speed sync just so I can get some really good shots of that sea stack in the sky and not have to worry about it. And then some shots of the water at the right shutter speed, and then I'll adjust the ISO so that I've got a good exposure, because I really need f/16 to get everything sharp from right here all the way back because of my focal length. Yes. That was the winner. I think it's time to get out of here, because that water's getting higher and higher and popping up higher and higher over all these rocks, and I got to get all the way back to the beach without getting too wet. We actually have a really pretty sunset, and I just could not take a photograph. So this is what I could come up with that actually included that really, really beautiful sky. So I put the grass here in my foreground, and I love that the sun is still giving me some nice highlights on the far side. You can even see it on the video on the far side of those grasses. You can see that it's highlighted, it's a little bit, and then it's shadow over here that looks really nice. And then I've got the big sea stack back over here, and I've got all this water that's coming in and splashing up in, and then I've got my incredible sky happening back over there. Things I don't like that I probably can't do anything about is this is a lot of space here that's not that great. So I'm still kind of finessing the composition. And I don't know, the sky is great, but a sky, you need a lot of elements to make a really, really good photograph. So I'm gonna play around with this composition just a little bit, maybe zoom in, zoom out, move left and right. And regardless, I'm gonna show you the best shot that I come away with at sunset at Cape Kiwanda right now.